for the Air Force Flyers Net, top of the hour.
WA6LJS, WW5END.
Yeah, good morning, Mike. Go ahead.
Roger. Yeah, I just came in for a minute. I'm going to be a real short timer today. Just in and out. I'm working on some lighting out there, and I got to finish this tree. But anyway, yeah, I won't be able to hang around today, so I just want to let you know. I can't quite hear Brian. He's just above my noise, so I wasn't sure. But I figured you're probably running net logger for him.
Yeah, I'll move you up to the top as a short timer, Mike. And yeah, you're not your normal strength either. You're a good S8, but usually you're 10 over. So anyway, have a good one. I'll get you up the top. WA6LJS.
Yeah, WA6LJS, WW5END. My beam was pointed south, so maybe is that any better?
Yeah, I'll say you came up 3 or 4 S units. Big difference.
Well, that's good to know. I'm glad that the rotor does something anyway. WW5END, standing by for the net.
WA6LJS, WB5DRI.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, John, I was wondering if you could move Lee up a little bit. W4PUO. I actually talked to him before I started up NetLogger, so he should be right after Don and Mike there. Over.
Roger. We'll move him right up. WA6LJS.
WB5DRI, K1BOB. How copy, Brian?
Yeah, K1BOB, WB5DRI. Good morning, Bob.
Yeah, good morning. Good signal here, and I was able to contact Don. I was having problems with the proxy timing out on me. Looks like I've got him now, and I've talked to him, so I'll bring him in this morning. K1BOB, back to you.
Okay, Bob, real fine. Well, appreciate that. And yeah, conditions are not as good as they are sometimes, but I guess the band is still having to wake up a little bit there. Over.
Yeah. I talked to that guy out in Connecticut. You talked to Dan out there about an hour ago, and It was very light here. It was only running 100 watts, so very good. And I think all is well right now. I'm on a different radio today, so I hope I sound okay. K1 BOB.
This is WB5DRI. We'll be net control this morning for the Air Force's Flyers Club net, and we'll be starting up in about 2 minutes on this frequency. WB5DRI, standing by.
W5ANY.
W5ANY, WB5DRI. Good morning, Alan. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing better now. Been sort of under the weather for a week, something in that range. But in any event, I'm back in business today and need to check in as a short timer. Over.
Okay, real fine, Alan. We'll put you down as a short timer there, and we'll get you right after a couple of other stations here that we have that are short timers also there. Over.
Ben, appreciate it. It's WB5DRI, this is W5ANY. Back to the net. Over.
Okay, Alan, real fine. Well, good to hear you this morning, and I'm glad that you're doing better there. I'm sorry that you had a hard time for a while. Yeah, my wife has been recovering here, but she's starting to get much better here, so I'm happy about that. But I think it's going to be a while before she's completely over it there. Over.
Yeah, roger that. That's good news that she's getting over it. You know, even if it takes a little while, it's great to be able to look forward to into the recovery. Over.
Okay, Alan, real fine. Well, I'm going to be starting up the net, so I'll go ahead and start and break with W5ANY, who's a short timer there. Let's see. This is WB5DRI, Brian, down here in San Antonio also, and want to wish everybody a very good morning on this special Memorial Day weekend, kind of the start of the weekend here. And it's very fitting that we remember all those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms this whole weekend, and especially on Monday, I guess, with Memorial Day there. But this is the Air Force's Flyers Club net. And we do meet on this frequency, 14.290 every day of the year, normally starting up about this time, about 1000 Central Time, and this time of the year is 1500 Z. Let's see, the Flyers Club consists of military aviation members, both active and retired, veterans of all the military services, to include pilots, air crew, ground crew, air traffic controllers, missile crews, support crews, and anyone involved with military aviation from all of the air branches of all of our military services. We also very much like to welcome visitors to the net, and you don't need to be involved with the military or aviation in order to check in. Our purpose is to promote fellowship between those radio amateurs who devote a portion of their lives to support our air forces. This is a control net. To contact net control, please use the words contact, relay, check-in, or info. We also have a very good website at www.airforces, plural, flyers, plural, club.org, which has a lot of good information about the net, and also an online application if you feel qualified and would like to join. Again, that's not necessary in order to check into the net. Again, my call sign is Whiskey Bravo 5, Delta Romeo India. My name is Brian, and I'm located down here in San Antonio, Texas, in the Alamo City in south central Texas. The format for this net is pretty simple. We just go down the list, allowing each station to give their reports, and then we go back for a second 73 round if there's time. And usually on Saturdays we have a little bit more time. At this time, I do have let me give the list of the stations that I have already, and then we'll stand by for additional check-ins and put some calls out from the west and east coast there. Let's see. Break. Okay, I have some short timers listed. K0ZNC Don up in Longmont. I have also WW5ENZ Mike in Oklahoma City. I have my neighbor here in San Antonio, Alan, Whiskey 5 Alpha November Yankee. I have KM4CAX Jack also as a short timer. Let's see. I have Ray WB2JJO out in New Jersey. I have Carl KF7GJO. I have Frank N4GYY. I have Joe W5ABI. I have Lee N5BE. I have our commander K1BOB Bob. I have John WA6LJS, who's doing our net logging for us this morning. Thanks, John, for doing that. I have Chris KS5KY. I did have a Kilo Echo 9 Alpha Bravo Yankee, I believe, but I'm not sure he stuck around. But I've got him on the list here as a possible visitor. I have my older brother Dale, W5OG. I have K4YDB Charlie, and Charlie is doing our live stream this morning on YouTube, and I want to thank him for that. Let's see, I have Mike King Queen 6 Echo out in Anthem, Arizona. I have also, looks like last on the list so far this morning is King Queen 4 Hotel Juliet November KQ4HJN. That's Stephen out in, I think he's in Florida, Edgewater, Florida there. So that's the list as I have it. Let me stand by for any additional check-ins, members or guests who would like to check into the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Please call now.
Relay.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, you forgot KS5KY. Chris is a short timer. And also, I think you forgot W4PUO, Lee.
I sure did. Sorry about that. I've got him on the list here, but I skipped right over him when I read the list off. He's right after our other short timers there. So I've got him on here. There was another station trying to check in, I believe. Please come back. This is WV5DRI. Okay, I copied Brian. That was a little fast. Can you come back and give me your call sign a little bit slowly? I got Kilo Mike 7, I believe, and then I didn't get the rest of it. Over. Kilo Mike 6, Juliet. Do I have your call sign correct, Brian?
Negative. It's Kilo Mike 6, Zulu X-ray, Zulu X-ray.
I got it that time, Brian. Sorry about that. Kilo Mike 6, Zulu X-ray. I think you're one of our members out there in California there, Brian, if I remember correctly. So I got you on the list here, Brian. Very good. John, WA6LJS, could you put out a call for us, please, sir?
Will Wilco, this is WA6LJS relayed for net control for the Saturday morning Air Force Flyers net. We're looking for check-ins, either members or visitors. Call now.
I guess Brian can't hear me, W5PIX.
Oh, okay. You're coming in loud and clear here, Clifford. Put W5PIX on the list, Brian. And were there any other check-ins? Call now. Well, I'm hearing somebody in my noise. Did you hear anything, Brian?
Yeah, I'm copying Kilo Victor 4 Sierra. Do I have your call sign correct? Can I get your name and location, please? Okay, Russ, in Alabama. Are you going to be able to stick around with us, Russ? Okay, real fine. Well, why don't you go ahead and take your turn right now, then. Go ahead, Russ. Okay, Russ, very fine. Good to have you with us this morning. Thanks for checking in. You're about 5 and 7 with me here in San Antonio. Again, the name is Brian, and thanks for joining us there from Alabama. And come back and join us whenever you can again there. Kilo Victor 4 Sierra, WB5DRI. Anything else for the net there, Russ? Oh, yeah, Roger, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the Air Force's Flyers Club net. Over. Now, we have a website there, Russ. Check out our website. It's Air Force's, plural, Flyers, plural, club.org. That's Air Force's FlyersClub.org. Over. Okay, Russ, 73 is to you. Thanks for checking in with us. Break, let's see, how about Jack, KM4CX? Could you put out a call for us, please, sir?
I will call this KM4, and that's Saturday edition of the Airport Flyers Club. Come now. I hear somebody breaking out, but I can't break them out. Back to you, Brian.
Okay, I copied him, Jack. Thanks. Victor Echo 6, Echo Oscar, WB5DRI. Good morning. Can you give us your name and location there in Canada? Well, I copied most of that, Steve, but I got your call sign as Victor Echo 6 Alpha Oscar. Is that correct there, over? Okay, Steve, are you going to be able to stick around with us? Yeah, my call sign is Whiskey Bravo 5 Delta Romeo India. Copy? Okay, Victor Echo 6, Alpha Oscar, I got you on the list here, Steve, and we'll get down to you here shortly. Let's go ahead and start up the net. Let me give the question of the day. We have a question that we usually give just for fun, a trivia question, and this morning's question, I know we talked about the space shuttles before, but I read about this and I thought it was kind of interesting from the standpoint of how things came about. So I've got a couple of questions with regard to the space shuttles this morning. The first one is, what was the name of the first U.S. space shuttle? Was it Alpha Columbia, Bravo Constitution, Charlie Challenger, Delta Discovery, Echo Atlantis, or Foxtrot Enterprise? And the second question is, who gave it that name? And the possible answers are Alpha, President Richard M. Nixon; Bravo, President Gerald R. Ford; Charlie, President Jimmy Carter; Delta, President Ronald Reagan. And the bonus question is, how did this come about? You have to explain how the space shuttle, the first space shuttle that the U.S. had, got its name. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. If anybody needs any repeats on that, let me know. K1BOB, can you please bring in Don there? Good morning, Don. K0ZNC, you're up. WB5DRI.
Wilco, K1BOB. Go ahead, Don. You're up for the net. Well, he's there, but no audio. Give him a second.
Okay, I think I'm on the air now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're there, Don. You're copying me on an SDR. Yeah, go ahead, Don. You're good.
For some odd reason, my transmit was not holding in. I think it's something in now. Okay. So hopefully everybody can hear it. Good morning, everyone. All flyers up there, K0ZN, down in Longmont, Colorado here. Hopefully we're having a really nice day morning up here. Probably 59, 50 degrees, and I think the high in the weather man says is going to be right around 95, but mid-70s somewhere. But the best part of his forecast was there's a 30% chance of rain. So, you know, if that happens, that'll help dampen the fire danger down. Well, let's see, to the question. I think the first shuttle to fly was Columbia. I got its name, and I did not hear the whole question, other than how did it get its name. I don't really know, so everybody just Charlie asked up there on the second question. Yep, so it's I think hang on a second, let me check something out. Okay, I'm going to shuttle I think I'll be here. I will turn it back to you, Brian. And thank you, Brian, for bringing me in early. And thank you for the simulcast. I really do appreciate the help you guys give me. Really do. Back to you, Brian. WB5DRI. K1BOB. K0ZN. I will be standing by.
K1BOB, back to net.
Okay, Jack. I'm sorry. Okay, Don, good to hear you this morning. I didn't copy all that real well, but I got some of it. I didn't get your answers there, though. Maybe Bob or somebody can relay, or maybe John can relay the answers that you had to me there. Over.
K1BOB, I'm not sure. I think he said Columbia, and I forgot. I don't know. I was just trying to make this happen.
He said Columbia and Ronald Reagan.
Oh, okay, Columbia and Ronald Reagan. Thanks for the relay there, Cliff. So I got you down for Alpha and that would be Delta. Alpha and Delta. Very fine, very good. Let's go ahead and move on. Next on the list is Mike, WW5ENZ, who has to be a real short timer this morning. Mike, good morning. They're in Oklahoma City. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Before I answer the question, I just been cutting down, 60-foot tree out here. The one that's actually higher than my antenna, but I had to move it because it was getting, it's all, it needed to come down anyway. It's just old and rickety and twisted and, rotten and all kinds of bad things. So I had to cut it down, and it's one of those things where, you get it, everything just right, you think you got the cuts just right. Everything looks good, and you just get ready to cut the tree, which I don't know if any of you guys take trees down, but you have a face cut, and then you have, basically have a hinge, and then the back you have a hose it together until you're ready for everything to come apart. Anyway, I got to that point this morning, and oh man, I just freaked out. I was like, God, dang it, this is craziness. And so, I had to, thinking all these bad things are happening. Things fall back on my studio and destroy it, or fall across my workshop and destroy that. So, that was stressful, but I went ahead and, I said, man, I'm doing everything right, it should work. And so I used the John Deere tractor just to give it a little shove in the end. Sure enough, it all worked perfect. The tree went just where it was supposed to go, and everything went fine. It's just one of those things where you really stop and think it out.
Okay, Mike, real fine. WW5ENZ, WB5DRI. Well, real fine. I got your answer there, Mike, is Foxtrot, which would be the Enterprise. I guess you didn't hear the second question there. Who gave it that name? If you look on the YouTube, you can see these questions fully. But I was looking for the president that actually named the first space shuttle there. Did you have an answer on that one? Over?
I don't know. I guess I'd say it's Ronald Reagan. If I just throw that out there. Again, I don't have any internet right here. I just turned on the radio real quick, and I got to get back out. But I probably won't even hear the answer. So not a big deal. WW5ENZ back to net.
Okay, real fine, Mike. Well, have a good day there, and be careful with what you're doing. It sounds like some heavy-duty logging work there with your cutting and yard work there. Sounds like some pretty intensive stuff. So we'll give you a 73s. Have a very good day, and thanks for checking in with us this morning. You're sounding good on the SDRs. Break with WW5ENZ. Let's go to our next short timer that I have on the list here. Let's see, it's KS5KY, I believe, out in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Good morning, Chris. You're up for the net. WV5DRI. Okay, Chris, well, good to hear you this morning. You're almost an S9 with me on my radio here, so very good. And got your answer there as Alpha, the Columbia, so very good. And have a great day there, Chris. 73s to you. Thanks for checking in with us. Break with you. Let's go to our next short timer here. I have W5ANY, actually my neighbor around the corner. Alan, good morning. Alan, again, you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, this is W5ANY. Top of the morning, Brian. Good news from you about your wife, and it's good outside. A little bit humid, but still, it's good outside. Anyway, I'm just, like I said, sort of getting over about a week with not feeling well. Especially this time of year, I'm subject to these terrible allergy spells where I go down sick because of everything that's in the air and on the grass and so on like that. So I got to spend about 4 days down, which is no fun, but I don't know, I guess as long as I live here, it's going to be pretty much the same. Should get used to it, I guess. Otherwise, let's see, maybe about 5 weeks ago, Karen and I flew back to Los Angeles and attended the party for my sister's 80th birthday. So that was a lot of fun. We stayed a couple of days there and, had a nice dinner with everybody on that day. And it was just nice getting out and doing something. That was sure one thing of doing. Now, as far as the questions on the total, I think there's something wrong with this. I'm not sure what it is. But I thought that person was Columbia. And the president should have been Reagan. Okay, but I don't know, for some reason I'm just not real comfortable with those anyway. And I have no idea on how this came to pass. I don't even know what it is that I'm trying to see with how it came to pass. In any event, good to talk to you again. Good to talk to everybody on the net. It's always a pleasure. This is W5ANY, back to net control. Over.
Okay, real fine, Alan. Good to hear you this morning. And 73s to you there, and I'm glad you had a chance to go back to California for a couple of days to visit and to attend your sister's 80th birthday there. And congratulations to her on that, and very good. And also got your answers there, all okay there, Alan. Columbia, Alpha, and Reagan, which would be Delta. So very good. And have a great day there, Alan, and all the best to you and Karen and Rebecca there. Break with W5ANY. Let's go to, I think, our last short timer, KM4CAX, Jack. Good morning, Jack. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
KM4CAX, Jack in Wilkinson, Georgia. Looks like the sun's going today. A little breezy. Temperature right now 84, going up to as to the answers, looks like the lesson line is formed, but I will join the lesson line on Alpha and Delta, Columbia. Anyway, not much else to hear. Back to you, Brian. You got the long week. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. Next tomorrow, so let's check in tomorrow for the Sunday edition. KM4CAX, WB5DRI.
Okay, Jack, real fine. KM4CAX, WB5DRI. Well, real fine, Jack. I got your answers there as Alpha and Delta. That's Columbia and Reagan there, so very good. Good to hear you this morning, Jack. Have a great day there, and don't work too hard out there. Actually, your weather is a little bit better. We're going to be about 10 degrees hotter than you are here in San Antonio, and our heat index this weekend is supposed to be 105 to 115, so it's going to be pretty hot around here with that high humidity that we're currently experiencing. So we have a heat advisory over in this part of Texas, unfortunately. But have a good day there, Jack. 73 is to you. Break, that is the bottom of the short timers. If anybody else needs to be a short timer, please let me know. But let me go ahead and proceed with the list as posted here at this point. Let's go to W4PUO, Lee, over in Belleville, Texas. Good morning, Lee. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, W4PUO here in Belleville, Texas. The name is Lee, and we're glad to be on the net this morning. Pretty good propagation in here. A few guys that are hard to hear, but most everybody's coming in pretty good. I don't know what the reason was, but I'm pretty sure Columbia is the right answer, and it was probably Reagan because of his stimulus in the early decade there, the 60s, to get this thing going. So I'm going to say, just like the lemmings here, that it was Columbia and Ronald Reagan. But what the rationale was for choosing that name, I don't know. Back to you, Brian, and thanks for doing the net. WB5DRI, W4PUO.
Okay, Lee, real fine. W4PUO, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, Lee. And I got your answers there as Alpha and Delta. You're going to get right in that lemon line. That's fine. And we'll see how it comes out at the bottom there. There were quite a few space shuttles. It was some interesting part of our history for sure, and I think we need to remember the ones that were lost, especially in the program. It was a very expensive program from the standpoint of, well, I'm not sure about the monetary cost, but more critically, the lives that were lost in the process, which was the sadder part of the whole program. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Break with you, Lee. Break with W4PUO. Let's go out to New Jersey to Whiskey Bravo 2, Juliet Oscar, Ray, WB2JJO. Good morning, Ray. You're up. WB5, you're right. Okay, Ray, real fine. WB2JJO, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, Ray. And yeah, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people on the beaches this weekend for Memorial Day weekend, having fun and enjoying the sun and the sea air there. I would imagine it's very nice on those beaches out there. Anyway, I got your answers there, Ray, is Alpha and Delta. So let's go ahead and move on. Break with you. Let's go to Carl out in Sparks, Nevada. Sparky, KF7GJO. You're up, Sparky. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian and the group. This is KF7GJO out here. Beautiful day out northern Nevada. Not too hot, not too cold. Wind is calm right now. Oh, boy. Interesting question, buddy. Hey, you get 5 stars on this one. This is an ace question, and I really enjoyed that. There is an unspoken key in the first question, and everybody is missing that. So I hope I'm not giving this away too much, but it's really going to mess people up. Do they go with me or do they go with the running line? Aye. Okay, question number 1, the answer is, I think it was F. Foxtrot, Enterprise. The Enterprise was the first shuttle, and who named it? That would be C. Charles Jimmy Carter. By the way, you know why Miss Lillian sent him to be president and not Billy, don't you? I talked to her one time. She said she couldn't trust Jimmy alone with the gas station. Okay, and question number 3, how did this all come about? It was a massive campaign by all the Star Trek press, and they bombarded NASA and the administration to name the first shuttle Enterprise. After the Starship Enterprise from the Star Trek series. So Foxtrot, Charles, and that's how it all came about. So really a great question. Who would ever think that I'm a bit of a Trekkie myself? Aye. So back to you, and I'll be
with you to the bottom, buddy. WB5DRI, this KF7GJO.
Okay, Carl, very fine. KF7GJO, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you this morning, Carl. I'm hearing you well on the SDRs and lightly on the radio, so very good. And I got your answers there. Carl thinks the answer is Enterprise, Foxtrot, for the first U.S. space shuttle. And he thinks Jimmy Carter was the fellow who named it. So we'll see how that comes out. That would be Foxtrot and Charlie. And he says that there was a letter-writing campaign to NASA. So we'll see how that comes out. So very good. Let's go ahead and move on. Break with you, Carl. And thanks for that. Let's go to Frank up in Louisville, Kentucky. N4GYY with a good signal with me this morning. You're up, sir. WB5DRI.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everybody on the net this morning. And Brian, you're still 9+ with me. Good audio quality, so I'm still working good on this. Well, I may not be back on the air for a while. I'm getting ready to do my annual trip out west, and I'm traveling. I won't be able to get on the net, and what you'll see when I spend a couple days in location, whether I do more sightseeing or if the weather's bad and I end up getting on the radio. So we'll see what happens. Time will tell on that. Today, this morning, a little trouble with cloud and gray weather, and if we get some light rain ahead, right now 75 degrees, so the sun's supposed to come out. But the problem is, if the sun comes out, as most people know, then it's going to start breaking so let's hope the sun doesn't come out too bright so easily. I don't want to get too many thunderstorms. And as far as the answers go, when you first came out with it, exactly what Sparky said is what jumped on with being Enterprise and President Carter. And I think it was dealing with the not well, maybe a little like a campaign, but if I'm not mistaken, the first administration was also called the Enterprise, so it had to do with Carter being Navy and going back to, why not name the space shuttle after an aircraft carrier as well. But, who knows? I'm a bit of a director too, so maybe the Enterprise and Progress will be a driving factor in that. I'm going to probably kind of posse on that and go with Foxtrot and Charlie, and we'll see how that turns out. I may or may not be here all the way to the end, and we'll see how that works out real quick. So with that, if I'm not here, I'll say 73 to everybody, and we'll catch you the next time. So, WB5DRI and Truth in for Louisville.
Okay, real fine, Frank. Well, good to hear you this morning. N4GYY, WB5DRI. We got your answers there as Foxtrot and Charlie. So very good. You're going to get in line with Carl there. So good on you there. And I'll give you a call on the 73 round, Frank, just in case you might still be around. But if not, 73s to you. Have a great day. And thanks for checking in with us this morning. Good to hear you there from Louisville. Let's go to break with you. Let's go to out to New Mexico, to Las Cruces. Joe, W5ABI, WB5DRI. Good morning, Joe. You're up, sir.
Yeah, WB5DRI on the flyers. W5ABI. Yeah, there's the conditions here today. We got an S9 white level. Partially sunny, about 59, supposed to go up to 90. Humidity right now is about 4%, so it's not that hot. Then we have, let me see. On the question, I'm going to go with F, Enterprise and Charlie, Jimmy Carter. So my answers are F and C, and we'll be here at the bottom. Thanks for running the net. WB5DRI, W5ABI.
Okay, Joe, real fine. W5ABI, WB5DRI. Well, I'm hearing you well on the radio now, Joe. Your signal has come up. You're about a 5.7 to almost a 9 with me here in San Antonio. So very good. I think the band is finally waking up a little bit for us there. And I got your answers there, Joe. There's Foxtrot and Charlie. So we'll see how that comes out. Let's go ahead and move on. Break with you. Let's go to Arlington, Texas now to Lee up there, N5BE. Good morning, Lee, WB5DRI.
WB5DRI N5BE. Good morning, Brian. Good morning to Nanette. Brian, gold star for a out-of-the-box question. So, well done on that one. I have two vivid memories about the space shuttle program. The first one was the Enterprise being carried on the back of that ex-American Airlines 747 over the Edwards test area and watching it on a 13-inch black and white TV at the Quality Control Office at Fort Ord, where I was working as a mechanic at the time. And boy, that was amazing. And then, of course, the sad day when the Columbia exploded over East Texas, and for whatever reason, we were sleeping in that morning, and the sonic boom, which was violent, woke us up. And we turned the news on, and that's when we found out. Our son was going to college out there in Nacogdoches at the time, so he got to see all the recovery stuff firsthand, and I think he even volunteered for some of it. So with all of that, I'm going to go. Like Carl said, the devil is in the question. You didn't say which one actually went into space. What was the first one? That would be the Enterprise. I think it was in Jimmy Carter's reign. I don't know that he had anything personally responsible for naming it, but it happened on his watch. And again, I agree with Carl. Well done, Carl. Star Trek was intimately involved in that, the TV show, or as my wife calls it, Star Trek. God knows why. All right, Brian, well done. I enjoy this one. WB5DRI N5BE.
Okay, Lee, real fine. N5BE, WB5DRI. Well, thanks for all that, Lee. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, the Enterprise is fascinating, the history of all these space shuttles, and it really was a tremendous program, technology-wise, and from all other aspects. It's amazing that we were able to do this. But it's a part of a tribute to a great American technology is all I have to say. We're still the greatest country in the world and have some of the best, or maybe the best, technology. I guess I'm bragging here as an American, but anyway, got you down for Foxtrot and Charlie Lee, so we'll see how that comes out. And the Star Trek connection. There definitely was a Star Trek connection here. I'll have to say that at this point, but I probably shouldn't. I don't want to give away the answers here. But anyway, break with you, Lee. Let's go to our commander, K1BOB, Bob, up in Idaho there. Good morning, Bob, and thanks for the help this morning. WB5DRI.
You bet, Brian. K1BOB here, up in Idaho, and very good question this morning. I come from a seafaring town, if you will, a town I was brought up in, had a lot of historical significance during the Revolutionary War, and I think Benedict Arnold, he captured a British ship on Lake Champlain, I think it was, and named it Enterprise. I think that was the first Enterprise name our Navy had, and there were a bunch of others after that. The last one was the Carrier, so it's a historic name. Anyway, I'm going to go the first shuttle, I believe, was Enterprise. So I'm going to go answer question 1 is Foxtrot. Question 2, I think it was either Turkey Dick or Ford who took over there. I'm going to say Ford, so my answer for 2 will be Bravo. Now the last one, I think all the names come after exploratory ships. Exploratory ships. Now I don't know who had the first Enterprise. Maybe it was British, maybe not. I don't know. But I think they're all named after exploratory ships used for exploration. So I guess that's what the shuttle did, and that's what the Enterprise certainly did. I had a lot of nautical to the show, and I enjoyed the show when I was a kid. And anyway, a big shout out to N4GYY. You better stop up here at the Big Bull Lodge, and I'll have an IPA for you, Frank, and lunch if you get up this way. It was good to see you last time. You were visiting your daughter there and doing the things that dads do. We were talking to Stefan Germanham on Echolink this morning. It's the second time we've had a good chat with him. He likes to come up on Echolink during the net. So Don and I had it. John had a chance to practice his German. I didn't know Don could speak German. K0ZNC, good on him. That was fun. Anyway, that's all I got right now. I got a long list. Thanks for running the net, Brian, on a Saturday. And this is K1BOB. Back to WB5DRI.
Okay, Bob, real fine. K1BOB, WB5DRI. Well, you're coming in nicely now on my radio here, Bob. So good to hear you this morning, and thanks for the help this morning with Don there. And I got you down on the answers for Foxtrot and Bravo. Bob thinks that President Gerald R. Ford was the fellow who gave the name to the space shuttle. So we'll see how that comes out. And he thinks it has to do with exploratory ships. Yeah, the exploratory ships, I did kind of play into a lot of what happened, I think, for the naming of some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and move on. Break with Bob. Let's go to John, our net logger, WA6LJS. Finally down to you, John. Good morning again. Thanks for the help. WB5DRI.
Okay, real good, Brian. WB5DRI. This is WA6LJS. Very good morning to the net. Well, the conditions are fair to Midland. You're coming in beautifully. You're 10 over 9, Brian, as usual. I didn't hear K1BOB at all when he was simuling ZNC in there, but now on his turn he came up to about an S7. And a couple of the other guys I'm hearing locally, but I had to use the SDR for several of them. Well, let's see. Anyway, it's a nice day out here, kind of clear blue sky. We don't have any overcast this morning like we've had the last couple days. The temperature is about 60 degrees. And we'll be going up into the mid-70s today. Well, as far as the question goes, I was going to choose Alpha and Alpha, but then after hearing Sparky, he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. So I'm going to go with Foxtrot. The Enterprise was the first, and also Charlie for Carter is the one. And I have no idea about the bonus why it was named that way. Let's see. Other than that, the other thing, Monday for Memorial Day, I'm having a good friend come over here who's an accomplished trumpet player, and at the proper time he's going to play taps, and it should work out pretty good. I know they do that around the country, but I've never heard it here, and I thought my friend, if I'd ask him to come over and do that, and it should reverberate into the whole area here, because we're kind of out in the open, there's mountains, big hills all around me, and you can hear a pin drop, because the sound reverberates all around the hills here. So we'll see how that'll go. We'll have him play taps there to honor our fallen. So over to you, Brian. Thanks for running things. WB5DRI, WA6LJS.
Okay, John, very good. WA6LJS, WB5DRI. Well, you're solid S9 with me this morning, John. Good signal here in San Antonio, and very cool on your friend coming over and playing taps there on Monday there for Memorial Day. That is very, very neat. A great tribute to all those that were lost to provide for our freedoms here. So very good, and I got your answers there, John, as Foxtrot and Charlie. So we'll see how that comes out. And let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to my older brother Dale up in Mineola, Texas. Good morning, Dale, and good morning to you and to Carolyn, and love to you guys. And you're up, sir. W5OG, WB5DRI.
Okay, fine, Brian. WB5DRI and the Air Force's Flyers Club Net, W5OG here. Good morning to all. My SDR just quit. I've been trying to figure out which way to point the antenna to lessen the noise that I have here. And it's certainly out someplace to the east or the northeast, not the west. It goes up to a good solid S7 if I point the antenna to the west. And it makes my station almost unusable. If it weren't for the SDRs, I would probably be totally off the air. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I don't know what's causing it, but it's really a problem. And let's see, everything else is going fine here. We are planning our summer trip, and it will start about the 13th of June. And we'll start off by going up to Tulsa. So going then that direction, I will not probably be able to see KF0OPE Mike in around Troy, Nebraska. If we go up through the center of the country, that would be the way we would go. But we'll probably be going up to Kansas City and then up to Rapid City. Let's see. On the question, yeah, I thought what are the advantages, I guess, of being down toward the bottom? I was going to say Columbia and the gem of the ocean, but I think that Carl is probably exactly right. It's the Enterprise, and I don't think it ever actually went into space. So. I'm not even sure about that. I don't know. I'm not like many of us. I guess I'm not that up on the space shuttle history like we should be. We took it all for granted back when, you know. And I guess President Carter probably was right. I don't know. Either Ford or Carter, maybe B and a half. I don't know. but I'll take answer. Foxtrot and Charlie, like the lemmings after Carl, our ops officer, came through with the correct answer there for us. Anyway, Brian, I'll be here to the bottom if anybody can hear me this morning. I think you can hear me. I'm coming into the SDR, even though I have the antenna to the sort of the southeast right now. But the Utah, I come into the Utah SDR pretty good off the back. And I know I'm hitting the Georgia SDR. I'll be here to the bottom, Brian, unless my helper comes from the yard, and we got a little work to do out there. I may need to leave early. If I do, I'll let you know.
Frequency is in use.
W5DRI, W5OG. Good morning, all.
Okay, Dale, real fine. W5OG, WB5DRI. Well, I got you down for Foxtrot and Charlie there, Dale, so very good, and you're sounding good, as always, with me here this morning. I'm hearing you very, very well, especially on the SDRs. I think we're just too close to be able to hear each other on the radio. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Thank you for all that, and hope you guys have a great trip up to Rapid City once you finally get going on that. I'm sure you will there. That is such a great place to visit, I think, in the summertime where the weather is just ideal most of the time. Anyway, break with you, Dale. Let's go to our our YouTube guy, Charlie. And thanks for putting the questions up there on YouTube as well this morning, Charlie. I appreciate that. K4YDB out in Cartersville, Georgia. And Charlie, I was going to ask you if you've ever been to that museum there in Cartersville that has a very large painting that was done by an artist here in San Antonio that shows the whole Battle of the Alamo. I was wondering if you've been to that museum or if you know the name of the museum there. Over to you, Charlie. K4YDB, good morning. WB5DRI.
WB5DRI, K4YDB. Well, good morning, Brian. Morning to all the flyers and visitors out there. Yeah, I know which one. It's the Savoy. The Savoy, it's a car show. It's a car museum is what it is. And supposedly, I've never been in it yet. I was waiting to get some company to go, but I don't want to go by myself. I need somebody to hold my hand. But anyway, yeah, they're supposed to be in that museum over there, right across the street, actually, from the Tractor Supply. I go over there all the time. But right now it's about 71 degrees here. Supposed to get, it's about 88% humidity. We had thunderstorms roll through here this morning. And they right there at the beginning of the net, I heard one clap of thunder, and when I grabbed the radar real quick and looked at it, it was headed in the other direction, so I was able to leave my antenna connected. So that's the only reason why I'm here. Because thunderstorms were in the area. But anyway, didn't get a lot accomplished yesterday. I worked in the yard again, spraying down, trying to spray my fence line all down so I don't have to keep cutting it for the rest of the year. I still have to do the front yard. I got the back pretty much done. Got the side pretty much done. Both sides pretty much done that I wanted to do. And then I went outside and sprayed around the ditch out front between me and the road. So that way I won't have to worry about messing with it. But anyway, not a lot else is going to go on over here today because it's going to be pretty nasty outside. So I think I'm going to go get some groceries and come back and do some laundry. Never ends, never ends. But as far as the question goes, you guys keep changing my mind over and over and over again. But I like Carl's answer there. So put me down for Foxtrot and Charlie. WB5DRI, K4YDB. I'm back to net.
Okay, Charlie, K4YDB, WB5DRI. Yeah, check out that museum. Get one of your kids there to go with you and check that out. Might be worth seeing that painting. I'd love to see it sometime, but I'll have to wait till it comes back to San Antonio, I guess. I think it's just on loan to that museum for a while, so you might want to go see it before it comes back to San Antonio. But anyway, got your answers there, Charlie. It's Foxtrot and Charlie. So we'll see how that comes out. And thanks for all your help again this morning on everything there on YouTube. Break with K4YDB. Let's go to out to Anthem. Oh wait, there was a check-in. Who's the check-in? WB5DRI. Please call now. I copied Hotel November Foxtrot, but I didn't get the rest of the call sign. Can you come back again? Kilo Charlie 6, Hotel November Foxtrot. I don't recognize the call sign. Are you one of our members? What's your name and location there? Over. Oh, you're just south of Cartersville? Okay, real fine. What was your name again there, over? Okay, real fine, Jim. Well, fantastic. You and Charlie are neighbors there. I don't know if you know K4YDB or not, but you guys ought to get together sometime. You're very, very close there. What you have for our net this morning there, Jim? Go ahead. Did you say you were a Vietnam veteran? Oh, okay. Well, you're right in there with me. You're just a little bit ahead of me there, Jim. I'll be 77 later this year in October. But anyway, good to hear you this morning. Thanks for checking in with us. Come back and join us again whenever you can, and thank you for your service in the Air Force there. You fit right in with our net. Check out our website at airforcesflyersclub.org, and it has a lot of good information about our net. And please do come back and join us again. Break with you. Let me go ahead and move on. We got a lot of folks to try to get in here this morning. Let's go to Mike out in Anthem, Arizona. King Queen 6 Echo. Mike, you're up. WV5DRI. Good morning. Stand by, check-in.
Well, stand by there, check-in. We'll get to you here in a minute.
Okay, real fine, Mike. I didn't catch your answers exactly there, though. I'm not sure if you said, I think you said Foxtrot and Charlie, but I'm not positive of that. Do I have your answers correct? Just give me a roger, roger. Okay, real fine, Mike. I think I got your answers as Alpha and Charlie, so very good. There was a check-in. Go ahead, check-in, WB5DRI. Yes, sir. Everybody is allowed in. We have a lot of Navy folks, in fact, on the net. What was your call sign again? November Romeo 5 uniform Charlie, is that it? Oh, Roger, great call sign. November Romeo 5 uniform Sierra. You're very strong with me here this morning in San Antonio. The name is Brian. Can I get your name and location? Roger there. What was your name again, over? Okay, Russ. Well, your portable signal is very strong here in San Antonio, almost an S9 with me there from Durango. So very good. Good to have you in there with us this morning. And what else do you have for our net there, over? Are you a possible veteran? Oh, Roger. Well, thank you for your service in the Navy there, Russ. We have a lot of Navy folks in here, mostly Navy flyers, but you don't have to have been a flyer or to have supported aviation in order to check into our net, but we're glad to have you with us this morning. Did you do anything with aviation in the Navy there, over? Oh, Roger. Well, great career there in the Navy, Russ. Very good. Thank you for your service. And yeah, check out our website there when you get a chance, Russ. It's Air Forces, plural, Flyers, plural, club.org. And it has a lot of good information about our net, and you might want to join. You don't have to in order to check in, but it sure is good to talk to you here for the first time on our net. And again, great call sign. I don't know how you got that call sign, but I'm envious. Super duper. Anyway, anything else for the net there? We got to move on here, Russ. I echo that completely there, Russ. Thank you for that. And 73 is to you. I'll give you a call on the 73 round in case you're still listening along with us there. But have a great day out there in Durango, and thanks again for joining us. And do come back and join us on the net again. We're on here every day, 1500Z. Break with you. Let's go to another Brian out in California. We're finally, wait a minute. Believe that. Sorry about that. Almost skipped over our station in Florida there. Steve, King Queen 4, Hotel Juliet, November. King Queen 4, HJ, and one of our newer members. Steve, you're up for the net. Good morning, WB5DRI. Okay, Steve, real fine. King Queen 4 Hotel Juliet November. Very good, Steve. Good to hear you from Florida there. Thanks for joining us this morning. And I got you down for Alpha and Charlie, Columbia and President Jimmy Carter. So very good. Have a great day there down in Florida. 73 is to you, sir. Break with you. Let's go out to California now to get Brian. Kilo Mike 6, Zulu X-Ray, KM6ZX. Brian, good morning. You're up, sir. WV5 DRI. I think I'm going to need a relay on Brian there. Dale, W5OG, are you copying Brian? Go ahead, John.
I'm not hearing Brian at all, but if you look at the last line on the net logger, KF7 Juliet Victor Mike tried to check in.
Okay, let me go ahead and take him. KF7 Juliet Victor Mike. Go ahead and take your turn there this morning. I think that's Ed in Reno. Go ahead, Ed.
Go ahead and take your turn, Ed. KF7 Juliet Victor Mike. Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, I think he turned it. John, can you relay what he said there, over?
Yeah, his name came up as Ed, but his name is Dan, Delta Alpha November, and he's having difficulty. You're coming in and out, I'm probably coming in and out, but that's all he said there, over.
Okay, real fine. Well, thanks for that, John. Dan, good to have you with us this morning, and thanks for joining us. Come back and join us again whenever you can there. Break with KF7 JVM. Let's go to Cliff. We're finally down to him. Hope he's not mobile this morning. I probably should have gotten him right at the start. W5PIX. Good morning, Cliff. You're up, sir. WV5 DRI.
W5DRI, W5PIX. No, Brian, I'm over here on the base, 30 miles north of you. You know, we're still neighbors. Anyways, well, I'm going with the Foxtrot, which is Enterprise, and she is still parked up at the Dulles Airport there in Washington, D.C., or over in Virginia, anyways, but at the Dulles Airport. And, yeah, she was used for a lot of tests and everything. She was rolled out in 1976. And, of course, prior to that, being that I was stationed at Moffett Field, and the world's largest wind tunnel was over there, and I did see a lot of different aircraft that Ames Research was testing and everything. So, and, of course, Jimmy Carter along with that. But we have had several ships named Enterprise, HMS Enterprise, and on up. And we are going to have another nuclear carrier, Enterprise. I think it's going to be the, I think there's the, well, there's Gerald R., and then I think there's another one, and then Enterprise will be that one. So the Enterprise name is very prestigious. And it is passed on to a lot of aircraft, well, as an aircraft, but also ships. And anyways, but yeah, a lot of trackies were involved in sending a letter to Jimmy Carter and requesting that the Enterprise should, or the Constitution should be named Enterprise. She never went into space, but they did a lot of test and research with her, especially out at Edwards. And yeah, a lot of flights on a 747 that's been altered. And we did not, she did not come this way to San Antonio, but we've had it, well, you know, we've had a couple shuttle landings here on the back of a 747 come into Old Kelly there. So anyways, good net there, Brian, and good question. Pretty much here everybody been pointing antennas around to some of the tough ones there and trying to assist you there, and along with John and our commander also. But anyways, everybody is sounding pretty doggone good. And, well, as everybody knows, we're going to be over in the triple digits today. I've got the air conditioner in here running at 71 degrees. It is showing temperature of 90 in here, but it don't feel like it because the air conditioner is dehumidifying. And I tested the waters in the swimming pool. It's nice and cool. It's not cold, but it is, I would say, very much inviting. It's going to be for later on this afternoon. You want to come on out? Bring Miss Susie with you. We'll go dipping out here in some cool water. Anyways, everybody have a blessed day. And yes, thanks to all our veterans and our mobile up there in Durango. Very beautiful signal out of you there, Rush. Very beautiful. And I am a Navy sailor. Of course, I was in the P3 community and at Moffett Field and Patuxent River Naval Air and, of course, Whiting Field down in Milton, Florida. So the only three stations I've ever been, well, I shouldn't say that because I've been to Adak, Alaska, and over in the Pacific there with Patrol Squadron 50. But anyways, as an A4 driver, outstanding. Good little airplane also. Anyways, in fact, there's one on display down in Kingsville, I believe. But I don't want to tie it up too long. We've got a bunch of other people wanting to get in there. But, Brian, you're sounding good, and everybody else is too. Working hard at it, but we're listening. Back to you, WB5DRI. This is W5PIX up here in Bull Verde, Texas, a suburb of San Antonio.
Okay, Cliff, very fine. W5PIX, WB5DRI. Well, good to hear you there, Cliff. I'm hearing you well on the SDRs this morning. And I got your answers there as Foxtrot and Charlie there. So very good. And thanks for the invite. I'll have to mention that to my wife sometime and see if she's up for it. But that would be fun to get in your pool there. Anyway, good to hear you this morning, Cliff, and thanks for all the help. We got a long list, so let's keep it moving here. Break with you. Let's go to Canada and see if Steve is still out there listening with us. Sorry I didn't get you in here sooner there, Steve. Victor Echo 6, Alpha Oscar. If you're still with us up in Ontario, Canada, I think, you're up, sir. WB5DRI.
V6A Oscar, are you still there with us?
I think he must have had to have checked out. I don't hear him. We'll give him a 73s. Sorry we missed you there, Steve. If you're still listening, have a great day there up in Ontario there, and come back and join us again when you have a chance. Break with V6AO. Let's go to a station that's closer to me that I know I'll hear this morning. KG5PTE, James. Good to have you in there with us, James. WB5DRI. Good morning.
WB5DRI, KG5PTE. Well, I'm going to follow the lemmings, but I'm going to answer the bonus question first. Yeah, that came from the how did they come about? That came from Star Trek, the Enterprise. And I'll go backwards. The president is going to be Jimmy Carter. And the first space shuttle ever built was the Enterprise. The first shuttle to fly was Columbia. And I don't know if you guys are fans of classic rock and roll, but the old Canadian rock group Rush wrote 2 tributes to the space shuttle. One is called Countdown, and the other one is called Mission STS-107 Tribute to the Space Shuttle Columbia. Very touching videos pushed out by the Canadian rock band Rush. And I'm a big fan of the rock group Rush. Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart. One of my favorite bands of all time. Anyway, just check it out on YouTube. It's Mission Tribute, STS-107 Tribute, and the Mission, the other one to Rush Countdown. Very cool videos to the Space Shuttle. I've always been a fan of the Space Shuttle. Always was amazed at their takeoff, and I was saddened by the Columbia and Challenger effort. So back to Ned, Brian. I hope you're hearing me okay. Once again, President Jimmy Carter, Enterprise, and Star Trek. Back to Ned, KG5PT.
Okay, real fine, James. Got you down for Foxtrot and Charlie there, so very good. Good to hear you. I'm hearing you well on the SDRs this morning. I think we're just a little too close to have a path here on 20, but on the radio, but you're coming in well on the SDRs. Good to hear you this morning, James. And thanks for that. Break with you. Let's go. Let me try Kilo Delta 8, Oscar Delta Uniform, Chris up in Michigan, KD8 ODU. If you're still in there with us, you're up for the net, WB5 DRI.
Looks like he signed off on the AIM window, Brian.
Okay, John, thank you very much for that. I think we're almost to the bottom of the list. Let me see here if there's some stations that might still be with us. We already got November Romeo 5 Uniform Sierra. Let me go ahead and see if he's still in there with us. NR5 US. If you're still with us, Russ, go ahead and you can give an answer to the question. If you saw the questions on our YouTube live stream there, go ahead. NR5 US. Well, I'm not sure if you would. You're portable out there in Durango. If you're still with us, Russ, anything for the net? WB5 DRI. I think he probably had other stations to talk to there being portable. There's one last station here. Let me try Tim out there in Alabama. King Queen 4, Charlie Tango Papa. King Queen 4, Charlie Tango Papa. If you're still with us there listening, Tim, in Alabama, you're up for the net. WB5 DRI. Good morning. Is anybody here, Tim?
Not on my end, Brian.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Let me go ahead. I think we're at the bottom of the list, and we're almost out of time here, pretty much. We do have a session that follows this one over on Echolink on the AFFC conference node at the conclusion of this net here in just a couple minutes. But I want to thank all the participants and all the relays and WA6LJS for doing the net logger and K4YDB for doing his live stream on YouTube. And let me go ahead and give the answers to the questions this morning. It turned out kind of cool. I didn't think these questions would be that difficult, but the twist that I had on the question made it a little tough for some folks, but I think the history of the space shuttle is interesting. And I actually got this question from a book that I'm reading about Gene Roddenberry of Star Trek fame, the creator of Star Trek. And on page 430 of the book about him, he gives the information about this, or his book talks about this. The actual very first, my question was, what was the name of the first U.S. space shuttle? And that actually was Enterprise. And so the correct answer I was looking for was Foxtrot. Mike, WW5ENZ, came up with that answer. And interestingly enough, the president who actually named the space shuttle, the first space shuttle, Enterprise, was President Gerald R. Ford. And I think Bob, our commander, K1BOB, was the first one to get those two questions correct, the answers. But Carl was very close on his answer. He just had the wrong president. There actually was a letter-writing campaign from Star Trek fans that went to the White House, and the president at that time was Gerald R. Ford, and there were 400,000 to 500,000 letters that went to the White House asking that the first space shuttle be named Enterprise in honor of actually the Star Trek saga. So that's how that came about. And it was kind of interesting that on September the 17th of 1976 at Edwards Air Force Base, the Space Shuttle Orbiter 101 was officially rolled out and named Enterprise, and they had all of the original Star Trek cast there, along with Gene Roddenberry. The Air Force band played the Star Trek theme, and it was very cool. Another interesting twist to this whole thing is NASA was a little bit put out at first because they had originally planned to name the first space shuttle Constitution. So I thought that was very interesting. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the questions this morning, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, great Memorial Day weekend, and a safe one. And thanks for joining us this morning on the net. This is WB5DRI. I'm going to go ahead and close the net out and switch over to Echolink. God bless our troops, and God bless the USA. And please enjoy the weekend and be safe. And remember the reason that we're all celebrating Memorial Day this weekend on Monday. So 73 is all. This is WB5DRI, returning the frequency to normal amateur use. WB5DRI clear.
There's a number 28 on Echolink.
Normal amateur use.
All right, all you that are standing by to tear it up, go ahead and use the frequency.
Well, I guess.
Well, that's okay. Let's go ahead and take that number 28. I'm sorry I didn't have my net logger pulled down far enough. The King Charlie 6, Charlie Quebec Delta, KC6 CQD. Dennis out in Anaheim. What you have for our net? Go ahead. WB5DRI.
Good morning. Sorry, it took a few moments to get my microphone. And nothing for the net. Just monitoring. Thanks for picking me up. KC6 CQD Anaheim. Back to you.
Okay, Dennis. Well, thank you very much for checking in with us this morning from Anaheim. Actually, I used to live in Anaheim when I was a kid, many years ago, in 1961, and left in 62. I was just there for a year when my dad was stationed in Korea. But nice town. I enjoyed it very much, and thanks for joining us. Do come back and join us again when you can. We're on here every day, normally starting up at 1500 Z, 1000 Central Time. So 73's to you, Dennis. King Queen 6, Charlie, Quebec Delta. Anything else for the net there, Dennis?
No, you gave me what I wanted to know when it started, so that was cool. Thanks so much for picking me up. I just turned on the net logger and saw the net running conflict. So I'll visit again soon in case you take CQB. Thanks for doing it.
Okay, Dennis. Well, thanks again for joining us, and do come back and join us early in the net sometime. I would love to have you in there, and I was glad to be able to get you in there this morning. Break with King Queen 6, Charlie, Quebec Delta. This is WB5DRI, now closing the Air Force's Flyers Club net and returning the frequency to normal amateur use, and switching over to our conference node, AFFC on Echolink. 73 is good day, everybody.